I have shared this in the workshops, and the people who attended found it helpful, and I've also shared it with a client this morning, and I just want to share it with you because it might help. Very often we make ourselves miserable and create our own emotional suffering based on the stories that we tell ourselves. These stories come from our inherent voice and our inner critic, if you like. That's what the inherent voice is. Often we're quite mean to ourselves with the inherent voice, and ultimately from our belief systems. So if you kind of have a belief system, I don't matter, I'm not important, I'm not significant, you can send a message to somebody, a friend, loved one, something else, and if they don't respond, the story that you tell yourself and the meaning that you can attach to that could be along the lines of, well, they don't love me. If they cared for me, they'd respond quickly. They know that I love hearing from them, and it hurts me when they don't respond quickly. And then that story that you tell yourself about, they don't love me, I don't matter to them, they don't care enough about me, I'm not important, is painful to you, and you'll get all upset about not receiving a text message, for example. I'm trivializing this, by the way, this plays out in all different kinds of ways. So you need to think, when you're feeling miserable and you're feeling a bit down and like you're not enough, what story am I telling myself here? What is the meaning I am attaching to this? I haven't got a text message, or I haven't had a reply. Because you could attach a different meaning. So if you felt like you mattered and you felt like you were good enough and you just felt like you were lovable and amazing and offered a lot of value, then you would send a text message, and the meaning that you would attach to not getting a reply might be, oh gosh, they're really busy, I'll catch them later, I can't wait to speak to them. And you won't have the pain and the suffering. The pain and the suffering comes from the story that you tell yourself and the meaning that you attach to an experience. One example that I do use, I've overdone it a little bit now, but I'll share it because it's helpful, is that if you have a belief, I'm not likable, and then you open your front door and your colleague Paul walks past and he's got his head down, the meaning that you attach to that and the story you tell yourself is likely to be, oh gosh, nobody likes me, look, Paul's not even said hello to me today, I'm going to go into work and it's going to be the same. You will feel down, you will create suffering. You can literally feel your heart sink when you start thinking these things and you start believing these stories that you tell yourself. If you actually say, is that true? Is that true? Is the story I'm telling myself true? Is the meaning true? Am I really not likable? Then you can just go back and challenge it. How would I feel if I believed I was likable? Well, you would probably open the door, you would see Paul with his head down, and you would be more inclined to think, gosh, I wonder if he's okay. He might have split up with his partner, he might be dreading going into work, his parents might be ill. I might drop him a message later. I'll make sure I reach out to him. I hope he's okay. It's the same person with the same experience, and it's a different meaning and a different story. But the person who experienced it the second time didn't have the suffering. They didn't have the upset. They didn't have all the emotional carnage, if you like, and they will go out and have a lovely day. And I'm sharing this because if you challenge the stories that you tell yourself, if you really are feeling like you're not likable, nobody's not likable. It's just what we've been told when our brains have been developing. It's created a belief system in us. Very few of us were sort of programmed as children and nurtured that we're lovable, we matter, we're significant, we're likable, we're capable. It's not really how our society is programmed. In fact, the opposite is often true. And then we believe these things that we've been programmed with, and we take them out into the world and create suffering for ourselves. And it isn't even true. We're creating suffering over something that's a complete lie, because we're all capable at different things. We're all lovable. We're all likable. we all matter. Of course we matter. We're born here, we're human beings here having this earthly experience, and it just, if you challenge the story, it will definitely help ease a lot of your daily suffering if you do have a flawed belief system. The work I do actually psychologically reverses the beliefs. It's really quick. It's energy therapy and quantum healing, and it's really good and it's really fun. But if you just want to work on yourself and you're on this journey and you like journaling and you like the self-inquiry, just the things you need to say to yourselves: what story am I telling myself? Is that story true? And what meaning am I attaching to these experiences? I hope that helps. Have fun and have a beautiful weekend, and thank you for watching.